Pardon my pardon my hoarse voice. We are very honored to have with us three, because we got the baby there too, very excited young shluchim, Rabbi and Mrs. Hertzel. And we just had the Kinnis HaShluchim, the conference, and one of the highlights of the conference is when they do the roll call, and everybody stands up when their country is called. So I think we may have the people who are going to stand up last going to a country named Zambia. So first of all, Rabbi and Mrs. Hertzel, thank you very much. We know you're very busy getting yourselves ready to go out on this very exciting shlichus and bring the Rebbe's message to the world. We really appreciate your taking the time to share with our community about this. So let's get started and give us a little background, introduce where are you from, what's a little bit of your personal life story, and we can get to know you.
So my name is Mendy Hertzel, and I'm originally from Israel.
I heard of that.
Yes, I was born in the northern of Israel. My parents are shluchim in the Golan Heights today, and there is about 16,000 Jews in the Golan Heights, and they are in charge of them, and they're doing there I grew up. Then I got married. I went to New York to study by the Rebbe's yeshiva. And after 3 years that I was in New York, I learned some English. And then I met Rivki and we got married.
Okay. And Rivki, what is your background?
So my background is a little far from the Golan Heights. I'm from Alaska.
Oh boy.
My parents moved to Alaska in 1991. They got a blessing from the Rebbe to move there to open Chabad of Alaska. And I grew up there. I went to an online school. So I had, girls from all over the world, from Florida, from Venezuela, from maybe I had one from Chicago. I don't remember. But there were girls from all over the world that, were in places that didn't have a Jewish school. And my siblings and I, we all left home for high school or yeshiva.
Your sister was my student.
Yeah, that's right.
She still owes me a Tanya test, but that's another discussion. Okay.
Could be. Mushki, my sister Mushki, that was your student, is with my parents as well now. They have 6 kids, thank God. Mm-hmm. And I have a brother who opened a Chabad center in Wasilla, another city in Alaska. I have another brother that moved to Budapest to join the Chabad community there.
Oh, wow.
And I'm the youngest. And I don't know if my parents expected that we would move so far away from them, but we decided that our place that we're going to spread the light is going to be Zambia. So,
okay, and what is your child's name? What about?
This is Levi.
Levi, how old is Levi?
Shliach to Zambia.
That's right. We want to hear from him.
He's speaking up already right now. He wants to say he is 2.5 months.
Beautiful. Can I know her? Say, so Mendy, you're from Eretz Yisrael. You're from Alaska. You got the most Jewish place in the world in Eretz Yisrael. You got not such. How did you find Zambia? But I got one bigger question. Where is Zambia?
Where is Zambia?
Where is Zambia? It's a very interesting question. But Zambia is in Africa, actually. It's very close to South Africa. It used to be a British colony at the name Northern Rhodesia. And they became independent. They got independent at 1964 already. And since then, they didn't have a revolution. They didn't have civil war. So it's considered a very, very safe country and very nice one. It's very close to Johannesburg. It's 2 hours flight from Johannesburg. So it's more, there isn't like summer, winter, spring, as you all know them. There is different kind. There is subtropic.
A little different than Alaska.
Yeah, quite different.
So how did you find Zambia? I mean, you're from Alaska, you're from Eretz Yisrael. Where did Zambia come from?
Well, how did it come from? A couple of different places. When Mendy was maybe 18, 19, he and his friends were sitting together and discussing having Hasidic upbringing, and they were talking about, where they're going to go in the world to open a Chabad center. And Mendy decided, he said, you know what, I'm going to go to the one place that's going to scare me the most. Where's the farthest place in the world? I'm going to go to Africa. And everyone made fun of him, and it was a joke, and it wasn't wasn't something anyone really took seriously. But when we were dating and we were talking about, what we want to do with our life, so obviously it was pretty obvious what we both wanted. And he asked me if I'm willing to go anywhere. I said, sure, why not? I said, even Africa? I said, yeah, why not? And we didn't really think much of it past there. But right after we got married, the chief rabbi, the head shliach to Central Africa, Rabbi Shlomo Ben Tulila, his wife passed away. And he announced, while he was sitting Shiva for her, he announced that in her memory, in her zchut, that he wants to open Chabad in Zambia, which was a big deal because, he didn't really think of it as a place that had enough Jews for a Chabad. And over the last 2 years, he had been getting a lot of requests from the community there that they really want a Chabad shliach. And he was really unsure about it. It's not so many, maybe it's not so stable. How are they going to be financially, how are they going to financially manage it? And so he announced that, and we saw that announcement. Again, we didn't take it very seriously. It was kind of a joke. But a couple months later, as we started to look for our own place, a lot of different offers came up. An offer in Washington, in Oregon, a place in Australia. We had a couple cities in Alaska to choose from. And as we started going through the offers, we realized we were really looking for a place that we can start fresh, something that had nothing, that we can build from scratch. And we just decided to try it out. We went there for 2.5 months. We met the community. We had Purim party and a Pesach Seder and a Lag Bomer event and Mado Matzah bakery. And we met as many Jewish people as we possibly could. We met also many of the locals, and we just decided this was going to be our place.
Wow, unbelievable. Okay, so you say you met the community. What is somebody doing in Zambia? We understand why you're going. You're there to help them, but what are they doing there? How did they get there? Who's there? Natives, Zambians?
So there's actually very, very interesting ancient Jewish history with Zambia, not so ancient. Before the First World War already, Jews from Lithuania, a lot of Jews from Lithuania went to South Africa right away. They moved to South Africa and established there the first Jewish community in South Africa. After long time, or maybe short time even, at the end of the 19th century, it was already a lot of Jewish community in South Africa, and some of them moved north to find opportunities, business opportunities, etc. So the main place they all came was Rhodesia of today's Zimbabwe as today, which was a huge Jewish population of almost 15,000 Jews at the good times.
Just to jump in, people on the Zoom know Reb Yochanan Nathan, who's the Sefer here in Chicago, Lubavitcher Sefer. He is from Rhodesia. He was from that thing. Okay, please continue. Just to give a little touch. Yeah.
Yeah. So they moved, and some of them decide to move up north to northern Rhodesia and to establish there their farms and their Jewish communities. And the place where the people there were so welcomed that there is 9 Jewish cemeteries today in 9 different cities in Zambia.
Wow.
And they had 9 shuls, 9 synagogues, and they had a huge community. Later on, they never had a rabbi, actually. They had 9 communities, but never had a rabbi. So we are going to be the first rabbi to Zambia. After the Yom Kippur War, most of them left because the place they got a little bit hostile, like most of Africa countries. So a lot of Jews did Aliyah. Some of them moved to South Africa, but there is still local Jewish community, very small today. A lot of people that are very warm and close to Yiddishkeit, and are very, very well connected and want to know. And they never had an experience of a Jewish community different than what they grew up in. They didn't ever had like a big Jewish community experience. So we are there for them first. And then there is a lot of Israelis that coming for business, and a lot of Americans and British that coming for humanitarian purposes, and a lot of tourists that coming for Livingston for one of the 7 wonders of the world, which is Victoria Falls right there on the Zambezi River. So there is a lot of Jewish potential that just Jews that are not connected. There is also a lot of South African that not so much involved in their community in South Africa, and they're climbing north to the country of Zambia. So Bezrat Hashem, we are going to start working with them. We already started.
A rough number, like how many families? 100, 500, 1,000? I mean, do you have a rough estimate?
We do have. Families, we guess that we have about 100 Jewish families there. Jewish families, but not from all directions. Means Jewish, that one of them is Jew, so it's not Jewish families. 100 probably families that one of them is related to Judaism, and they are the base of our community, beside the tourists, the businessmen that coming in and out, etc.
So you talked about there's the cemeteries. Is there like a shul? Is there a mikveh? Is there a sefer Torah? Is there any what we would think of as an infrastructure of Yiddishkeit there?
So they had a shul, but they sold it 10 years ago because it wasn't in the best place at the city, but they didn't build a new one yet. So the last one ended 10 years ago, and we are going there to establish the first one. So they had a sefer Torah, but they had Sidurim from the old shul, but they didn't open their own new shul.
And what about a mikveh? What do you do for that? You have to go to Johannesburg?
For now, yeah. We have a mikveh in the plans that we're hopefully building, starting right away when we get there. But until then, yeah, flying to Johannesburg. It's a 2-hour flight.
What do you anticipate? You're going to show up? Do you have a date certain for when you're actually going to be on the ground?
In 2 weeks. We're leaving in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. So you're going to show up. It's Hanukkah. You get there. You get to your apartment. You have a place to live. It's day one. You wake up. What's like on the agenda?
Well, we already have a house there, and we have a lot of dishes there that we used over the months that we were there. We also sent a couple there for the high holidays. We had yeshiva bachrim there for the summer. We already had a lot going on in the last couple of months, even while we weren't there. And we are, the last night of Hanukkah, we're going to be having a community Hanukkah celebration to start off. That's the plan.
So what do you do in Zambia when you need a mezuzah, you need to fill in, someone has a baby, you need a moil? Like, how do you get that? I mean, here in Chicago, we go, or in America, you have Amazon. I mean, how do you get kosher food? How are you doing this?
So for me, actually, it's very it's pretty similar to how I grew up. You know, for us, every time when we needed a mohel for our baby, he was born a couple days before Rosh Hashanah, we were very hard pressed to find a mohel that was agreeing to come and leave his family in the middle of all the holidays. So it's always a struggle to find someone, but it's pretty close to Johannesburg, and they have a very big Jewish community there. There's plenty of kosher food there. It's just a matter of how you import it, because you have to find specific legal ways how to import the food. So that's a little complicated, a little more complicated than America. But yeah, they have, mezuzot. There's always people coming in and out of Israel to Zambia.
What is the government like there? Is it a democracy? Is it more like a monarchy?
It's a democracy. It's a democracy. It's a presidential democracy. There is a president, and he changes every 6 years. But it's very, very safe. It's a democracy till at a point that even if the president are a little bit controlling the elections, they could control and could try to make the elections too good for them.
Like Chicago, hey, that's what we do.
But if the people are very strong say so. The last president, he was changed, even though he tried very hard that he would not be changed, but they change him. It's a democracy. It's safe. They have elections every 6 years, and they have a parliament, and they actually very welcoming. The Jews and the Jewish community. One of the first ministers there was a Jew, and his name was Simon Zukas, and he's buried in the place together with the old president, with the rest of the president of Zambia. So even the Jews has part in the.
So your enthusiasm is infectious. We're excited for you. Tell us, is there anything you're worried about? Do you have any fears? Or you're too young to be afraid of anything? That's okay. I'm not trying to scare you. Just want to know, is there anything you're like, what are we getting ourselves into?
Definitely coming from America and Israel and coming from a normal place with normal medical care and normal police force and things like that, going somewhere where, you know, when you call the police for a burglary, they ask you to come pick them up because they don't have fuel for their cars. So definitely going to such a place is, it's very different than what we're used to, but there's many Chabad shluchim before us that have done it and have managed. And we're very confident that the good that we're doing will save us from anything bad happening. So,
Amen. Okay, so you guys are heading out in 2 weeks. You need money. Give us the website. Maybe somebody who's watching wants to participate. I'll email it out. We'll put it in the chat. Let's go. What's
absolutely.
the website? Tell me what the website is.
ChabadZambia.org/donate.
Zambia.org/donate. Okay, I put
Yes.
it in the chat. If anybody wants to participate in this mitzvah, to send Rabbi and Mrs. Hertzel and their son Levi off to Zambia, hey, please do. Yeah, if anybody wants to quickly unmute themselves, we don't want to take too much of the rabbi and his wife's time. They're busy. But if you have a specific question, you're welcome to unmute yourself. Otherwise, we want to wish you tremendous hatzlacha. You're an inspiration to us. You guys are going to be Meridik Matzliach, and we hope, let's make a date now. In a year from now, we want to have you on again to tell us about your new mikvah, your new shul, all the people who are coming. Is that a good deal?
100%. I want to add one,
please,
about the problems that we will have. We had a big concern. If this is our shalichus, that was the biggest concern that we had. If because there is such a small community, and because there is a lot of hard things that we didn't heard about many other countries, and mainly because it was hard to get there and it was such a struggle. So we thought maybe this is not our shlichus. And that was the biggest struggle that we have, that maybe it's not what the Rabbi wanted from us. Maybe he wanted from us to go to a different place, a bigger Jewish crowd. And then we had a miracle. A month ago, right away when I came from Alaska, I got a call from a guy that he tells me, here in Crown Heights, he told me, I have a story to tell you. Can you come and I will tell you the story? I said, okay. I came to his show and he's telling me, listen, I'm a Jew. I was born in South Africa, but my family moved to Zambia. And I grew up in Zambia. I was there for 15 years. Then I made Aliyah. I became a Lubavitcher. I became Chabadnik. And the end of the story, I went to the Rabbi for private audience. It was 1969.
Oh boy.
Tishrei, month of Tishrei. And he told me that the Rabbi was, after the Rabbi answered all his questions, the Rabbi picked up his holy eyes from the papers. And he told me in that letters, the Rabbi told them, I would like you to go to Zambia and help there the Jews to do and spreading Judaism to them, and specifically help them to do mitzvot. And he was shocked. He didn't want to go back. And also the Rebbe told him before to go back to Israel. So he asked the Rebbe, but you told me before to go back to Israel. So the Rebbe told him, you know what, you should go back to Israel, but you should write to them letters and try to mechazik them, make them strong in Yiddishkeit and Torah and mitzvahs. And then, after half a year, he asked the Rebbe again if he should move there. And the Rebbe wrote to him a letter. The Rebbe wrote to him in this letter, I would like you to go to Zambia and help there, and help to do their mivtzoim and mitzvahs and Jewish stuff, etc. And this is what he did. For a year, he lived in Zambia and did the first Purim party in Zambia, because they didn't celebrate Purim. They didn't know what is it as much. But he knew, and he celebrated that. And that was such a miracle to us. But the miracle didn't end there. And I want to show you something. Please wait.
We're not going away.
We have some props.
Oh boy.
Rabbi, that Rabbi from Crown Heights, the Jew in Crown Heights that met me, he gave me to see, and actually it's now in my hands, all the letters that the Rebbe sent to him.
Hold it a little over closer to your wife because we can't see it on the screen.
All the letters the Rebbe sent to him.
It's on 1 second.
It's on blur, so it's hard for us to see. There you
There
go.
you go. All the letters the Rebbe sent
Oh,
to
wow.
him to Zambia. So I want to show you one
Original
amazing
letters.
original
Wow.
letters. So what I want to show you is two letters that for us, that was just without a doubt, we are going to Zambia. One of them is a letter. I don't know if you can see.
A little bit hard, but we could see the letter. Can you read it to us or just tell us what it says?
I want to tell that the top of the letter is written that the Rebbe sent this letter into Glazer family, and it's written at the top, Zambia.
With an I in it at the end. That's interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And there is the Rebbe is signing at the bottom. So we
Sure.
have here a letter, original letter, that the Rebbe sent to the Jews in Zambia.
Wow.
And
What year
another,
was that? What year is that?
1968.
Oh boy.
And we have another letter that here it is in English, that the Rebbe is in holy handwriting, wrote, one second,
It's in the middle.
I need to show you. Okay.
Okay.
You see?
It's Yerachmiel Glazer,
But
PO Box 193, Nadola, Zambia.
That's in the Rebbe's holy handwriting, the
Wow.
Rebbe's letter. So every
Is that
time,
the city you're going to be in, Nadola? Is that the name of the
No.
city?
No, it's not. It's not the most popular city anymore.
but when we holding, every time we have a struggle or a question or a hard time, we're going to these letters and we're holding them in our hands and we are feeling that the Rebbe sent us these letters to go to Zambia, and the Rebbe told us. These letters, nobody knew about them. None of the Chabad community. We were the first Jews know about them after this guy. Know about this letter the Rebbe sent to Zambia, and the Rebbe told us, you should go there. This is your mission. Don't back up. Just continue.
Amazing. Rabbi and Mrs. Hertzel and Levi, you guys are great. We loved it. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. We know you'll have wondrous hatzlacha, and you should continue to bring everybody nachas. The Rebbe is with you with those letters, and we're making a date. In a year from now, we want you on again to tell us about all the things that are doing. It's a date.
Thank you.
Hatzlacha. Remember, chabadzambia.org/donate. I'll send it out on the WhatsApp with the recording. Anybody who wants to participate in supporting this wonderful shlichus. Thank you. Hatzlacha. Good night, everybody. We'll see you
Send
tomorrow
us
night
his
for my-
address, Zambia. Send us his address. Send us the
Oh.
address, his address there, so
Can
that
you-
we can send him a holiday card.
Oh, okay. This is okay. If you will, please, when you get a chance, WhatsApp me your mailing address. I'll forward it, and you will be on the receiving end of a beautiful holiday card, which you'll learn about, and maybe you'll get some visitors. Jay, what do you think? Maybe put
I would love-
Zambia on the list.
Now it's time to cross off the safari from your bucket list.
There you go. Okay. All right. It's a deal. All right, Mr. Pine. You got the next year's journey is to Zambia. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night for Mimer. Thank you again,
Night,
Rabbi,
everyone.
Mrs.
Thank you.
Hertzel and Levi. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you. Good night. Chabadzambia.org/donate if you want to participate in this special shlichus. Good night, everybody.